So, hi, Sheila.
Hi, Anna.
Welcome to Cup of Joe with Anna and Sheila. I'm Anna.
I'm Sheila.
And we are not professionals.
Obviously.
We were just commenting that the whole intro seems like we should have Muppets
Little
behind
puppets
us.
coming up.
Yeah. And I think, of course, those Muppets, those two old men.
And they'd be perfect.
And maybe we're just the two suburban ladies. We should have Muppets made like us that are just angry but active and unprofessional and grassroots and wanting the right people to be in the office in here in Florida. Rah!
Anybody make puppets? Because we could really use some.
That's right. So this is Cup of Joe with Anna and Sheila. Like, follow, share on Cup of Joe with Anna and Sheila.
Yep,
on Facebook.
And the Twitter.
What is the Twitter handle? Is that what we call them?
Cup of Joe Florida.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cup of Joe Florida.
And the Instagram.
And the Instagram.
And the YouTube.
And the YouTube. So like, follow, share. We're embarking on election season, and Sheila and I have been highlighting this and forecasting this and getting so excited about it for months. And now I think everyone's finally caught up to us.
It's about time.
About time.
Did you hear the latest news?
There's so much news, Sheila. Which one are you talking about?
Yesterday, a member of Congress was at an event rallying people to exercise their Second Amendment and storm some state capitol. I don't know where he was. He announced that he was running for president. And guess who it is?
I don't know. I haven't heard.
Matt Gaetz.
No.
Yeah.
Is that from The Onion?
No, it was from CNN.
Oh, come on.
And it was on Apple News. So it was two sources.
Oh,
he's
look at my coffee cup. History sighs and repeats itself. So we have some totally unqualified, unethical person running. History sighs and hopefully does not repeat itself. But The Onion says that might happen. Ooh, The Onion, if you want to sponsor us.
We'd be happy to have you.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, he announced that he was forming an exploratory committee, saying that if the past president, or whatever the hell his name was, 45, Orange Cheeto.
We just say 45, Sheila. That's all we have to say is 45.
He said, if he was not going to run, then he would certainly jump in.
Jump in what?
To run for president, Matt Gaetz.
Wait. Oh, okay. So, well, if I'm under investigation for sexual, I guess, trafficking or pedophilia, I think the best next step is to run for president.
Why not?
I know.
We had a pussy grabber running.
Oh, Sheila.
Kitties. We have two kitties.
Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Yes. Well, no, I didn't hear that, but thank you for telling me that.
It was pretty entertaining. It was all over the Twitter yesterday.
It totally made my day. Yay.
Yep.
I thought we were going to talk about.
Do tell.
Well, I mean, Biden's been very active.
He yesterday made the press laugh. He was talking about
intentionally.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But he came out and had a press conference about all of the fun things that the Democrats have passed that the Republicans are taking credit for. And he said, if you're taking credit for it, maybe you should be a Democrat. And the press just burst out laughing. And he also had ice cream yesterday.
Okay.
He had chocolate chip. And he was in.
Why is that? I mean, is there some significance to that? Was it like Ben & Jerry's?
No, he was at some random ice cream store in Ohio, and somebody asked him about the January 6th commission and the Republicans. And he said, well, if they're not going to vote for it, maybe they should have some ice cream.
Isn't ice cream like his thing though too?
Ice cream is his thing. And he had chocolate chip, which is like my all-time favorite.
I would not like that.
I know.
But it's not, I mean, I like other types of ice cream.
Well, that's her.
Okay.
Yeah. We know better.
So, yeah. So what else happened?
Let's see. We're actually going to go fishing for a month, right, girls?
Well, fishing, no.
Yeah. We're going to go fishing.
We're going to get everything prepared. I mean, we've been so, I guess, proactive in our trying to get people on that I think we've gotten so much activity that we're going to take a break before we before we land head down into a whole bunch of great guests. So I think this is a great way to start off our election season.
It is a great way.
We're going to turn Florida blue.
We're going to flip Florida blue in 2022.
Flip Florida blue in 22.
And for the life of me, I've asked 4 people to make me t-shirts and 4 people have failed.
Including my husband.
Yeah. Dan.
Yeah, Dan.
I mean, I technically made you one, but you didn't do anything with it.
I didn't like it.
Tell me that.
So Erin made one, and Sheila didn't like it, but
But I got Erin a really good shirt.
she did. So anything else on the? I haven't been. I tried not to watch the news sometimes, because it's sort of depressing.
It's not really depressing. It's just
Well, the shootings and things.
there
I'm
were
like,
17 mass shootings in 4 days this past weekend.
Yay, NRA.
Yep. And I don't know what the heck Governor DeSantis is doing. He's taking credit for everything Biden has done. But what I find really interesting is that the Florida cruise ships want to sail from Florida, and
Ooh, I like.
they don't want to because it's illegal in the state of Florida to have a vaccine passport. And the cruise ships want vaccine passports. So guess where they're going to go?
DeSantis.
Not Florida.
Yep.
Georgia.
Yep, Georgia, South Carolina, New Orleans.
New Orleans. Yeah.
Yep. As they should.
All right.
Yep. I don't know.
Well, speaking of, I guess, awesome shirts, let's go back to what we're talking about. I just saw our new guest, was that a hoodie or a shirt? And he's obviously an Anna and Sheila fan for wearing a shirt like that. So with that, let's
Wait, we have to introduce him first.
Okay, well, you introduce him, Sheila.
Alan Ellison. Alan spelled wrong because my husband is Allan and you're Allen. Alan Ellison, who was the very first person to announce his run against Little
Marco Rubio for
Yes.
the Senate seat for the U.S. Senate. You had to make that distinction because people kind of like, I don't even know who
people
that
kind of phase out.
That's right.
Yes, so it'd be really nice to have somebody here who doesn't randomly quote Bible facts or quotes just because it's convenient. We'd like to have somebody who would actually do the work.
Or maybe someone who's not so interested in UFOs and more interested in representing his people of Florida.
Right, or what's going on in Venezuela as opposed to what's going on in Gibsonton.
Or
So,
in his
or in
In
his
his
district. So we'd love to bring Alan Ellison in. Aaron, can you do the honors? Yay!
Hi, Alan.
How are you doing today?
Good.
Good.
Thank you so much for coming on to the Cup of Joe with Anna and Sheila. Like, follow, share.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I've already shared it on Twitter as well.
Oh, good.
Fred Bowman liked our tweet too.
Great.
Excellent. Well, we're so excited to have you.
You're our first candidate, so we're very, very excited. And I know we have some good history of having some early runners on this show. So hopefully this is a good sign of the results for the Senate race. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us what you're running for to our viewers.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. I do watch your show, and it's
Lord.
you all feed well off of one another. But a little bit about me, I'm a everyday guy. I was born in Highlands County, Florida. I was raised in Hardee County. I grew up working in the orange groves, working with my dad on cars. I actually started cutting hair at the age of 10 because where I'm from, there wasn't any ethnic barbershops, and I needed a haircut for the 5th grade banquet. And so I ended up taking my dad's clippers to my head, and I was doing pretty good until I got to the back. And I had so many patches in my head that they would call me Patches at school.
At least it wasn't a mullet.
Yeah. But I enjoyed doing it, so I continued to do it. I used to cut my younger brother's hair, and I messed their hair cut up real good. And by the time I got to high school, I was probably cutting everyone in school. I was cutting the basketball team, the baseball team, the football team, the band members, the principal in the principal's office, the teachers. I would cut hair when the teachers were up teaching. I would be in the back of the classroom cutting hair. But I've been doing that for quite some time. And I'm actually a licensed cosmetologist. I'm a husband, a father, a business owner. I'm actually inside of my salon right now. And this business has been really good to me. It has allowed me to meet so many people from so many walks of life and really to be able to become a problem solver. I have a degree in political science. My passion is helping people. It's my gift. It's the very thing that defines my existence in this world. And I couldn't think of a better career path than to go into public policy where I get a chance to write policy to make the most impact in the lives of so many people. So I am running for the United States Senate because I believe that we need representatives, we need senators who will actually work for everyday people. And right now we just don't have that. And so I want to do that so that I can fulfill my mission in life of helping others, but also give people their voice, because we feel like people have lost their voice with the leaders that we have. Leaders are not very responsive. They're not listening, and oftentimes they overlook and marginalize people, and people deserve better.
So that's really interesting background, because, there's an old Southern sort of saying, I don't even know if it's still said, that if you want to know what's going on in the town and in the county, go to the hair salon, right? Because all walks of life, if you really want to know who has the power, if you really know how to, pull the strings, that's what it's talked about.
Absolutely.
Go to the barbershop.
Go to the barbershop, go to the beauty salons.
Yep.
So very interesting. And we were looking at it earlier. I thought, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's a perfect way to really understand politics. The politics of who gets in the chair and everything else and what's being said in that chair.
Absolutely.
It's a community gathering, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always been that for me. And I've seen so many people from so many different walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
And just talking about the issues that affect people. Everyone has a different issue that's going to affect them in a certain way. But being able to communicate with so many different types of people, you get a chance to really understand that life is much bigger than you and your individual circumstances, because everyone has, issues that are impacting their world. And then the other thing is that when you hear their problems, you start to realize that oftentimes they can't go to leadership for help. And it's really a shame, because that's why we elect leadership, so that they can help. And they're just simply not doing it. Right.
So tell us a little bit about, you are running as a Democrat, correct?
Correct.
And how are the Dems supporting you? Tell us more about how you're getting or not getting support from the Dems.
Well, at this stage, I'm not getting any support from the Democratic Party, because I have to go through a primary in order to unseat Marco Rubio. So it wouldn't be fair for the Democratic Party to endorse or provide support for any candidate. Now, that doesn't mean that the Democratic Party couldn't let people know that I exist.
That would be helpful.
Yeah, that would be really helpful. That hasn't happened yet. There has been campaigns on Twitter to try to get the Democratic Party to at least follow me. That hasn't happened yet. But the thing is that we are building a grassroots movement, and part of my win strategy has not been to have support from the party. My win strategy has to do with reaching people on the ground and mobilizing those individuals to be a part of this movement to unseat Marco Rubio. America wants to unseat Marco Rubio. Floridians are fed up with Marco Rubio, and I got into this race to do that. He is the problem. He's been in the office for 11 years, and in 11 years, he's only worked or voted 40% of the time. He has the worst voting record in the United States Senate. And people deserve better, because I don't know if you can miss 60% of work on your job and still keep your job. Most people can't, and I think he shouldn't keep his. So,
well, we've had some different guests on here. We disagree. If anyone's listening, we disagree with the Democratic Party's initiative and lack of support for certain candidates, because that's just not working.
Yeah.
We understand your plight, but I understand that you don't want to get through the primary. How much? If this video goes viral, which we're hoping it will, how much money do you need, and how can we support you? The links and so forth.
Well, the election is November 8th, 2022. So we have a year and a half to go, but the goal is to raise a minimum of $60 million. It's going to take about $60 million to not only challenge Marco Rubio, but also to challenge the negative messaging that the Republican Party has placed over the Democratic Party. You know, the Republicans are very good at branding, very good at creating messages that
Manipulating. How about
manipulating, miseducating, misinforming
that?
voters,
Gaslighting,
Yeah.
gaslighting.
bullying.
Harassing.
Sorry.
And
Continue.
so what
Alan.
happens is if those messages don't go, if they go unchecked, if there is not a counter message or a counter branding strategy to overcome those messages, then those messages begin to get embedded into the minds of voters, and it has. For example, they say that we're socialists. Well, we're in Florida, and we have a lot of voters who come from socialist societies where the regimes were not that good for them. And so when they come here and they hear those messages, then they tend not to vote for Democrats. And so Democrats need to be able to counter those messages. And I have a background, I have a very comprehensive background, but my background is also in marketing, branding, and PR. And I understand that we're going to have to counter those negative branding strategies and messages. And so it's going to take financial resources in order to do that at the level that we need to get it done, because my campaign is not just a campaign to unseat Marco Rubio, but because I am a federal candidate, we have down ballot candidates that we have to bring over as well. So we are working extremely hard to flip the entire state from top to bottom, which is something that we haven't seen in a very long time. And so one of the ways that people can help is they can make contributions directly to our campaign, because our campaign is leading the movement to help flip all of these seats in the state, not political action organizations, not the party, not the DNC, but to the individual campaigns of candidates who are actually running to unseat these Republicans. And so people can do that at allenellison.com.
So, and we agree with everything that you're saying,
Yep.
but in terms of those voters who are just done with the Republican Party, but still identify as Republicans, what are you going to do to try to turn them over or counter personally those socialist messages?
Well, the other thing is education. So I'm a political scientist, and campaigning is educating. I recognize that most voters didn't go to school for this. And a lot of times people are operating off of a 9th grade level of understanding of what civics is, okay? So
I think that's being kind.
yeah, so because most people in high school, they're not paying attention to civics.
No.
So where they're getting their information about how government work is from Fox News or television, which is really not a good way to understand the inner workings of our government. So my job as a candidate and a political scientist in this campaign is to educate people. So a lot of times Republicans, they're Republicans for one or two issues. But what we do is we lay out all of the issues. And there are 55,000 different ones. And out of the 55,000 issues, I show them how we have more in common than not. And one of the ways that I do that is I talk to them about issues that really directly impact their world, because usually those issues are going to directly impact everyone simultaneously. And we're talking about issues like disabilities. If you get in a car accident today and you become dependent on disability benefits, whether you're a Democrat, independent, or Republican, those benefits will become vital to you. And you don't need a Republican leader trying to slash those benefits. And so when you think about it, there are 61 million Americans that have disabilities. There's 2.8 million Floridians that have disabilities. That's across the board throughout every party. And so when we focus on the issues that have direct impact, then Republicans will begin to understand that, you know what, you're right. We do have more in common, and we should protect these things that literally impact everyone. Social Security is another one. You know, when you've worked 30, 40 years in your job and it's time for you to retire, you want to know that your retirement through Social Security is going to be there for you, right? But when you have leaders who are in your party that are constantly trying to slash and privatize and really get rid of the Social Security program, then that doesn't benefit you as a Republican. So we show them how leaders are going after the very benefits that benefit their world. And we get way beyond the traditional talking points. I'm very good when it comes to destroying talking points, because talking points are designed just to make people think a certain way. Usually it's designed to make them think the way that whoever is talking about it. But true education, true knowledge, it will squash all of the opinions. It will squash all of the talking points. And we do it every day. I'm in Highlands County. I'm inside of my salon. I have Trump supporters who come in here every week. And by the time they leave the chair, they are proud Allen supporters, because we're giving out the real information. We're giving out the way that government works, and we're giving out the way government should work for the people. And whenever we find out that government is not working or leaders are not working, then we work to mobilize to get them out of office, because all policy, all laws, and all leaders should have one thing to do, and that is to improve the quality of life for all citizens, no matter the party, no matter the race, no matter the gender. It should improve the quality of life for everyone. And if they can't do that simple task, then they need to get out of office. And if they won't get out, then we will raise awareness to the public about who they are, what they're doing, and how they're making direct negative impact in the lives of everyone. And then people will start to get them out on their own. I believe that when you educate voters, when you give them the real facts, the undisputable facts, voters will automatically start to vote correctly, because now they're not operating in ignorance, they're operating in the knowledge. They become woke.
Well, yes. Well, also to know that their vote matters. That's what we struggled with here lately, is like, well, I'm in a red, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we've had a couple people on here. We haven't shown her clip yet. It's in the can, but there's some people that we've had on here that's what they're trying to do, is to educate, just to show that people do have a voice and their voice matters, and that there are people, there are not anti-Trump, but not against Trump, right? So if people think that their vote doesn't matter, they just don't go to the polls, which I think is part of the problem.
Well, and one of the things that I find ironic is that Marco and Scott and our guy Vern over here are claiming credit for the $1,000 checks that are going out to first responders, and none of them voted for it.
Yeah, I noticed that early on with the CARES Act. I noticed it with the HEROES Act. I noticed it with the American Rescue Plan. They all voted no. Some of them didn't vote at all. And that's the thing that we have to do as Democrats, is to constantly put up the facts. And all we have to do is just show their voting record. Just constantly show it. And the people will understand that whenever the people have needed their government, whenever the people have needed leadership the most, in the most trying times, which is through this pandemic, it has been the Democrats that have been there time and time again, while the Republicans have consistently turned their backs.
Or gone to Cancun.
Yeah. Or we're in Cancun, or,
right. So, Alan, tell us, you do have another candidate that hasn't really announced her candidacy, but there's been a lot of hubbub about this. What are your thoughts on Val Demings?
I know Val. I met Val about maybe 7 years ago. I think that she is a very strong Democrat. I have the highest respect for Val Demings. I like her a lot. But I got this. And the thing is that there is a lot of people in the establishment that's pushing for her to jump into this race. And it's really sad, because they are not given consideration to the fact that I've been running this race for 6 months. And we have built a grassroots movement. We are reaching 10 million people every 28 days. And we are waking up voters. The thing is that in order to win this race, you have to be able to have crossover appeal. You have to be able to reach voters who don't typically vote. You have to be able to reach independents and some Republicans. The last federal candidate that was actually able to do this was President Obama in 2008 and 2012. And so we're going to have someone who can speak to all of the issues in such a way where people who are not in our party say, you know what, that makes a lot of sense and I can get on with that. And so for the last 6 months, we have proved that we can do this. Our following has significantly increased so much that with all of the candidates that have filed to run, we are outpacing every one of them combined. For people that potentially get into this race, we are outpacing them as well. And we haven't done any CNN interviews. We haven't done any MSN.
You've done Ann and Sheila.
You've done Ann and Sheila, which is the best.
Yeah, we haven't been on any major media except for Cup of Joe and Anna and Sheila. I mean, this is the biggest that it has gotten. But even with that being the case, our grassroots movement has still proved that we have the viability to do this, and the numbers don't lie. So just look throughout the internet, just look throughout social media, just look at the fact that we've built over 1,000 volunteers and hundreds more that we're vetting and processing through our system. People still are about what we're talking about. And what we're talking about is giving people their voice, as you said earlier. I may be the only candidate in the race that engages constituents in the way that I do. We have a Power Hour chat every Friday where I'm answering literally every question that someone is posing to me. We have weekly.
I hate to interrupt you, but if someone wants to get involved in those Power Hour chats, how would they do so?
They could do that on Twitter.
Okay.
We have the Power Hour chat at 7 o'clock every Friday on Twitter, where I'm open to answer any questions that someone may have. But also on Facebook, I have what we call Fridays for Florida, and that's when we talk about the issues. People can ask questions and we can converse about those. But we also do the same thing on Instagram. And it has allowed people to feel a part of the political process. And that's what's been missing since Obama left, is that there have not been engagement at this level with the voters. And this is what voters need, because when you feel like your voices don't matter, when you feel like your votes don't count, and for a lot of Floridians, that is absolutely the case, then people begin to shy away from the political process. Absolutely. And when you think about the fact that we have 97,000 more registered Democrats than we have Republicans, but Republicans dominate the leadership positions throughout the entire state, then that speaks volumes to the point that we have a lot of voters who are uninspired. And we are proving that we have what it takes to inspire these voters, because they are saying, I haven't voted since Obama, but I'm going to vote for you because what you're saying, it is reaching me in a certain way. And we know this to be the case because when we made our announcement, our numbers have grown faster than any other candidate that is potentially going to announce or has made an announcement. And that goes for Stephanie Murphy. That goes for the guy, Alan Grayson, Josh, all of these candidates. Like our numbers are stronger than all of them combined. And two of them, one of them is an elected official. One is a former elected official with all of the weight of the government that they have, and their numbers don't even come close. So it speaks to brand viability. It speaks to our message. It speaks to our movement. And it's a shame, as I said before, that the party or the establishment that's pushing for Val, they don't recognize what we have. And I've seen this before. I've seen it in 2008 when Obama was running for president and Hillary got into the race. And he had a grassroots, very strong grassroots campaign, and Hillary had the establishment. The fact of the matter is that the establishment cannot vote. The media cannot vote. It's the people that vote. And we have a people-powered campaign that's centered around data. It's driven by metrics, and we are going to win this entire election.
Well, we're so honored for you to come on our show, and we are absolutely grassroots. So we totally tie in with your brand and your marketing technique. And we would love to have you back on the show, especially if you have like a big fundraising event. We'd love to help you promote that. Erin has put all the, and I think Jess has put all the links on the Facebook feed. So for all of our followers out there or listeners, if you're interested, please take a look at those links and donate. We need 60 million people.
Yep. And
got
consider an ongoing, we got the book here too.
You know,
Consider an ongoing donation. You can donate every month. Just sign up for that. Unlike the Republicans, you actually have to opt in to sign up for monthly donations.
Sheila, let's do $1 million a month. Don't you have an extra $1 million laying around?
Sure.
Exactly.
I'll be happy. I'll do a mailing for you, whatever.
Well, thank you so much.
Who is that?
This is our booking agent.
This is me, Melinda. I'm the sometimes.
She's the booking agent.
You're making it all happen.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
I've been listening this morning, but if I don't have to get here at 9 o'clock, I don't do it because I'm retired. So
I know that's right.
Okay.
I'm trying to be like you when I grow up.
I know. It's nice. I'm telling you, I'm
We
a
all
lucky
are.
girl.
We all want Melinda's life.
Thanks, Alan. We appreciate
Thank you,
it. We'll see you
Alan.
this
Thank
fall.
you. Nice to meet
Thank
you.
you so much. Nice to meet you all.
Bye.
Yay, Melinda. Yay. All right. So our very first federal candidate, and we're very excited. I didn't get a chance to push it a little bit, but Obama, we're grassroots. If Obama wants to come on,
That'd be awesome.
we would love
Yeah,
to
President
have
Obama, we'd love to have you on.
Yes, even Michelle. Actually, Michelle would be awesome.
She'd be
I
awesome.
think she'd be better. But anyway, see, we have them both and just see how many reviews we get. We can have a view war. Anyway, thank you so much, Alan Ellison, for coming on. Again, like, follow, share, Cup of Joe with Anna and Sheila. What are we doing?
Sorry, I had to take a picture of Erin because she's going to be our remote producer. She's singing us
Erin,
off.
what did you do there?